Hey everybody, this is Muffin with the Daily Biker Podcast. Just here to let y'all know the opinions and ideas expressed in this show are those of the hosts and their guests, not to be confused with their partners and sponsors. Now, let's get it on.
Hey guys, this is Sean from the Bikes and Beards YouTube channel, and you guys are listening to the Daily Biker Podcast. You're gonna love it.
I mean, right?
Microphones.
I'll do what I have to do.
Speaking of doing what you have to do, I would say I welcome Alberta with open arms to be the 51st state.
Well,
They're going through a time, but it's all because of Ontario.
They're trying to succeed. Did you know that?
I did.
So they want to succeed, but from what I understand, they don't want to be their own country. They want to succeed, and they want America to take them. Or the U.S. to take them.
They want France to take Ontario back. Get rid of Ontario out of the province.
So
But they have until, I think, August of this year.
I don't know. Otherwise, hey, everybody, welcome back to the Daily Biker Podcast. My name is Marcus, and I am your clueless leader. Today, we're going to go on a learning journey. I have Miss Muffin.
hi y'all.
And I have Daniel.
I love that Heather doesn't know what we were talking about with Canada.
No, I have no clue.
Just
No
the
idea.
face was...
No idea.
No
Heather,
idea.
you looked really cute. It was...
Now, I want to say this. In their pitch that they made to America, because they did, they referenced themselves as the Texas of the North.
Oh, God.
Well, based on the stuff that they said, where they were talking about their land and their GDP and
Yeah.
their populations and all that other stuff, you don't have to call yourself the Texas of the North. Right below you is places like Montana and Wyoming,
Which
and
are-
North and South Dakota.
legitimately the exact same, just not as cold
Correct.
and usable.
Correct.
Inusable.
There's a reason why Canada has a lot of land.
Correct. There's a reason why 90% of the population live on the southern 10% of the country.
And we took Alaska.
I don't think anybody wanted Alaska.
Well, the Russians did.
Yeah. But that was just so they could
That was back when
That
the
makes
land
sense.
bridge existed.
that was so they could get over here easier.
But Sarah Palin could see Russia from her front door.
On a clear day, you can.
Yeah.
I mean, on a clear day, you can see 7 states from Rock City.
Jeez.
I just imagine Sarah Palin up there on Rock City. I can see 8.
I can see 8.
They say on a clear day, which apparently is rare, at Klingman's Dome, which is no longer called Klingman's Dome, but I cannot pronounce the name of it now.
Did they change the name of it?
They went back to the Indian name.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Or the native name, whatever you would like to call it, the
I know what
indigenous
you're talking
name.
about, but I don't know the name.
It's like Kawahaha or something. I
Yeah,
I
you will
butchered
go with
that.
that.
Ottawa.
Yeah, Oodwall.
It's Ottawa. They say from there you can see 100 miles on a clear day. But they also, it has like one of the highest rainfalls like of anywhere in the United States. So
Never.
like they don't have that many like super clear days.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
So
Which I was expecting rain today. And it looked like it was going to rain, but it,
it
never
did
did.
rain here,
It rained, well, because I got back.
but it didn't rain at my house
No.
or the gas station.
I never got rained on. And then I got back to the road in front of my house.
it's
like-
wet.
It's wet.
It is soaked. What happened
Yes.
over here?
Yes.
No cloud, no
Somebody
nothing.
had the water hose on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the cloud come over. It came over about 5:30.
So we were over there on Ashland Terrace, and it literally looked like a mist outside and then just disappeared.
Oh yeah, no. So from the shop, I watched a dark cloud like come over like
Huh.
the ridge and flow down the ridge, like close enough that we could feel the moisture in the cloud.
We could smell it.
Yeah.
We were talking about that, but I was like, oh, I guess there's nothing.
Like you could feel like a slight coolness, and
Like the humidity went up. That was about
and
it.
it was like
And as soon as I crossed the traffic circle, I was like, where did all this come from?
yeah,
We didn't see any of this. And so it must have been south and then moved north.
yeah. So, update in motorcycling stuff since the last podcast.
Yeah. Well, we've had, I guess one thing happened since then.
No,
Motorcycling.
two. It's two. It is two. Trust me, it's two.
Okay.
So, one, the Yamaha's gone.
Yeah, Yamaha is gone.
So, Yamaha sold pretty quick, thanks to nobody that listens to the podcast.
But somebody that works at Volkswagen.
Somebody, hopefully a now listener to the podcast.
Somebody that knew my Volkswagen.
Very specifically.
Yes.
No.
There are very few all tracks in Chattanooga.
That learned about the bike for sale because I saw them looking for a motorcycle on a motorcycle Facebook group,
Which I was not a part of.
which Daniel's not a part of. So I
Because I also
shared,
don't do Facebook.
I shared the marketplace ad to the individual.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Came by, paid. He was very ecstatic. He was very surprised that given the age of the motorcycle, 2009,
that it was in such good shape.
he was like, this looks brand new. I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, I even pointed out, like, it's a little bit worn here, a little bit worn here. He's like, no one would ever notice that.
Yeah. I mean, I had posted on there. I was like, I shared it. And then I wrote below that, I was like, I know this bike. This bike is a good bike. It's clean. And then, of course, someone comments that had also been selling a motorcycle. They're like, how do you know this motorcycle? It's like, I'm not going to respond to you, dude. You're just mad that, like, I'm trying to get this
Well,
bike
and
going.
so and this goes into selling motorcycles. I listed it for what I felt like was a very reasonable price
Yeah.
for what it is.
Yeah.
It immaculate condition, 2009. I put it up there for 4,000.
Yeah.
We see a lot of them out there. I want $8,500. This is brand new.
Yeah.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
I knew, and that was a conversation that I had with him. I was like, I want to stay as close to my asking price as possible because I feel like this is marketably fair.
Yeah.
He agreed.
Yeah.
Obviously no negotiation happens.
Well, the thing with value, if you're selling a motorcycle, car, whatever you're selling, the value is what someone is willing to pay for it. Not necessarily what you want to get out of it, but what someone is willing to pay for it. That being said, that is why stuff like a Z1 going for $30,000 or 40 or 50 or 60 or 70 or 80 or how much ever
Those
at
auction
an
prices,
auction,
yeah,
okay,
is not
does
market.
not make your Z1 worth that much money.
No.
Although that happened, and then everybody that had a Z1 for sale on Marketplace and Craigslist and eBay and
It's
everything else
immediately $30,000.
jacked their price up.
Now, I will say, before I put it up, I did look, just kind of see what people were asking for.
Yeah.
In that same range, the 1300s.
Well, and that was going to be, we've had this conversation off the air, but essentially the selling tip, if you're ever going to private sell a motorcycle, this is coming from advice from someone that has worked in the motorcycle industry, has worked selling power sports in the motorcycle industry. Your vehicle, find out what NADA value is as your first start. NADA, Kelly Blue Book, Black Book, I don't care.
Any of them.
Whatever clean retail is. Find that value out. Before you ever put any value on your motorcycle, find out this is for private sale, not for trade values. I will make that very clear.
Yes.
Trade values are all over the place based on what you're trying to trade for, when you're trying to trade.
There are a lot more stipulations on
Correct.
trade value.
Trades are...
Like the dealership's trying to get rid of an old motorcycle.
and they're willing to
so
make a
they'll-
deal,
Yes.
stuff like that. So
Right.
this is not
Yeah.
trade value. This is
Look at
purely...
private sale.
This is
private
purely
retail.
you have a bike and you're wanting to put it out there to the world to sell it. Not, once again, this isn't, I'm selling it to a dealership because they're going to buy it wholesale.
Yeah.
This is you posting something for, like Daniel did, on Marketplace
Correct.
to sell it. So, first step, find out what clean retail is. I do not mean what they are selling for online. I mean what lenders will tell you clean retail value on your bike is. That is step one. Step two, then you look and see what people are selling the bike for.
there could be a disparity.
There
it
could
be
be.
higher, it could be lower.
There
It's
very well could be. Step 3, value what you think your bike is worth. That being said, if you have $20,000 in accessories, I am sorry, do not add $20,000 to the value of your bike. You're never going to get it. I tell everybody, if you want to try and get some of your accessory money back, add about 25% of the value of your accessories onto the price of your bike.
reasonable.
It's a
100%
reasonable, but then you're going to have to be a good salesman because it doesn't matter.
True.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
No,
it doesn't matter.
I mean,
Someone's not buying what you built.
Certain accessories you can get dollar for dollar for. Most of them, I think a quarter of the value,
Yeah.
completely reasonable, because everybody a motorcycle is a very personal thing
Yep.
to a lot of people.
Yep.
You know, someone may not like the seat you have on your bike.
Yeah.
Someone may hate the exhaust you put on there
Correct.
because you put slash cuts on your Harley.
Yeah.
And you may have spent $2,500 on those Vance and Hines slash cuts where you shouldn't have done that.
Well,
You're not getting $2,500 for those.
Here's
you're
a
not.
good example. If you went and you based the value of a 1985 FXR on the book, congratulations, you have a $2,200 motorcycle. Anybody that's ever priced them knows they're more than $2,200.
Correct.
So that's where knowing what it's worth and what people are selling it for, because if you just go online and you go, well, this is a $10,000 bike, you're going to really get your feelings hurt when people are offering you $3,500 for the thing.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
Which
It's a reality of life. And for anybody that has a FXR that's like, I have a 1992 Toyota. It's worth about $1,500 on book. I have been offered $8,500 for my truck.
and in reality, it's worth like $350 in like a Big Mac.
No, if I wanted to sell it, it's probably a $5,000 truck.
Yeah. Nowadays, hard body,
But to
same
me,
like the
these days, yeah.
Nissans.
to me, it's worth a lot more money than that. So I won't ever sell it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I want an FJ80 series Land Cruiser.
And they know what those are worth.
Oh, yeah.
According to the book, they're about $4,500. But everybody, they're $15,000 to $25,000.
Yeah.
So it just is what it is. I know that, so I know that I'm going to way overpay for that. So that's the things. 1, find out what lender retail value is of your motorcycle. 2, see what the average asking price for your motorcycle is. 3, use 1 and 2 to evaluate how much you think your bike is worth. Now, here's the trick to selling your motorcycle and getting how much money you want out of your motorcycle. Now, this does not go for $2,500 bikes. This really doesn't even go for $4,000 bikes. This goes for guys that are selling $10,000 plus motorcycles.
Yeah.
Figure out your price. If you go, hey, I want $12,000 for this bike, I would go as low as $11,500. Great. Post it up for $12,500. Because when someone comes to you and goes, well, I can do $11,900. Congratulations. They think they got a deal and you lost $100. You didn't hit your bottom dollar before negotiations
And
even got anywhere close.
You always price it about $300, $400, $500 more than what you really think it's worth, because there's that negotiation in there.
Correct.
And with the XR that we sold,
I would
Saturday,
say anything less than $5,000, do 300, 5 to 10, 400,
yeah,
10 to 15, 500, and so forth. Once you break 20, you can start talking about another $1,000 to $2,000. Those types of price points.
I agree with that.
Because there's people right now that have 24 street glides they're trying to sell.
Yeah,
And I don't know what value on it is. If value is 30 and you go, well, I won't take any less than 29. Great. Put it out there for 32. When someone goes, I'll give you 30 for it. Cool. Rip
Yeah,
their arm off
just
and
take
run
it.
away.
Accept it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, and
that's the tips coming from a seasoned individual who has sold vehicles privately, who has sold vehicles in the power sports realm. But this is also advice not from someone that currently sells motorcycles, because I don't.
no. but it is reasonable advice because you see it all the time. People listing motorcycles for, like I said, I saw those V-Stars.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a low mileage, $9,500, 10 grand. Like that is not a $10,000 motorcycle.
Well, I think the other thing people need to realize too is trade value / wholesale value is usually about half the value of your bike. Not $2,000 or $3,000 less. It's like half. So if you have a $13,000 vehicle and you're trying to trade it in, and they offer you $7 or $8 grand, that is a fair deal.
They're not trying to insult you with that.
They're not. They're not. So when you go, well, I want 10 or 11, that's not happening. It's not.
No.
It's just not.
That's where a private sale is probably going to be beneficial to you.
Correct.
Because in a private sale, yeah, you might get 10.
Well, and that's the thing. If you have something that's $13,000, you try to trade it in, they offer you 7, you want a 10 on trade in. Hey, go put it online for the 10 grand you want. Someone's going to rip your arm off to buy it because it's $3,000 less than all the rest of them.
And that's $2,000 less, and they're going to sell it for.
Correct. But also, I think a tip, if you're going to trade in something, look up trade value of your motorcycle, vehicle, four-wheeler, whatever it is, just so you don't get blindsided.
Yeah.
It can be very heartbreaking to see those numbers sometimes.
Well, I mean, I'll say I personally, with my vehicles, haven't had to deal with that. But when we sold Stephanie's car after she bought the BMW, we ended up selling it to a dealership. They offered us, in my opinion, what was a fair price for it, given the condition and me knowing that it was about to need an engine and a turbo.
Yeah.
Which was like a $5 grand fix.
Yeah.
Perfect. I wouldn't feel confident selling it for that price to an individual knowing that you're on borrowed time.
Well, when I sold my Wrangler, it was a $10,000 Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah.
I knew someone that was an auto broker that found cars, used vehicles for dealerships. And I said, hey, I'm trying to get rid of my Wrangler. Would you make me an offer on it? He said, come meet me. I met him. He drove it. If it was, first of all, it needed a little bit of work. If it had been flawless, 7, 8 grand would what I've been looking for. But the thing was I called him. I met him the next day. He test drove it and said, I'll give you 5 for it. We'll go to the bank right now. I'll give you cash. And I said, let's do it. I could have got more money out of it.
But that would have taken weeks, months, maybe.
I didn't have to fight for it. It was done. It was done.
And that was my thought too. Now, mind you, the day that we went and sold,
I was being realistic. And I think that's what happens is a lot of people aren't realistic.
People are not realistic. The day that I sold Stephanie's car, we sold it. I had to put oil in it. I literally overfilled it just because
everybody wants to pay
the oil light to come on.
Right.
Everybody wants to pay
looking at it.
The bottom dollar when they're buying it.
But
they want the top dollar
Yeah.
when they're selling it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not how the world works.
Which I mean,
the world has never worked that way. I'm sorry. You're going to pay top dollar when you're buying it, and you're going to sell it for bottom dollar. These are vehicles, people. They're a luxury.
Especially
and in the country, in the U.S., people are like, having a car is not a luxury; it's a necessity. Go to the rest of the world, and for anybody that's in wherever that says it's a necessity, go to places like New York and L.A., where half the population doesn't have a car.
Well, half the population in New York's trying to leave.
But you know what I'm saying.
I do.
They don't have a car.
Here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, it is a necessity to own a vehicle.
Is it though?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say, yeah.
What if you lived in apartments on Gun Barrel and had a job at the mall?
You wouldn't have to own a vehicle.
So that's what I'm saying.
But could you, if you
it's
worked
not
at
a necessity.
If you worked at the mall, could you afford apartments on Gun Barrel?
Some of those apartments, yes, you can.
Some
of those apartments,
not
yes.
very many.
Not very
But
many.
what I'm saying is, you still have choices.
You do.
It's like the people that I hear that go, well, I have to drive 40 miles for work. Well, I chose to live 2 miles from where I work.
Well, you got lucky that apartment complex was open at the time. It had spaces.
No, I just would have paid what I had to pay. I mean, there was lots of options.
Fair.
So
Fair.
that's the thing. There's always options.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
It's like if Stephanie wasn't working and you went, hey, we're going to move to Red Bank because it's closer to work. Okay.
I would never do that because I don't want to live in Red Bankistan.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yes. No, and we've had that conversation before as well.
So that's the thing about it. But like where you're at right now, Stephanie's close to work.
She won't be in a couple months.
Is her office moving?
She's getting a new office that's across the street from my office.
So that's where the Red Bankistan conversations come up.
No, it is not. Red Bank is never a possibility.
That's
Hill
not an
City.
option.
Harrison. Further away.
We're moving to
more
Birchwood.
Birchwood.
So anyways,
Don't you dare tempt me with
putting
McMinn
that out
County.
there. Back to the Yamaha has sold. That's number one. Number two, the Dyna deal is done
Yes.
and is now in possession, air quotes that y'all can't see, of Daniel and Stephanie. So the Dyna deal is done. It's no longer at its residence.
It is currently at White Lightning.
It is currently at the Harley dealership, being prepped to be gone through, just because he's buying a motorcycle that has not been ridden in a year.
So my thought when doing this, and me and you have had this conversation, I like to start from zero.
It's always a good place.
I know the people that we bought it from, good friends of ours. However, the bike has been sitting for a number of years, at a minimum 2 years with minimal riding. I'll be 100% honest. I'm not a Harley mechanic. I don't know Harleys the same way that I know my current bikes or similar. So the best thing that I could do is have the motorcycle taken care of by people that know what it is, know any of the quirks, niggles, all that.
Yeah.
And get it to a flat line, a zero.
Yeah.
Now it's a known quantity. If something happens, all right, we have a baseline.
You're not doing anything different than the dealership does. So if I traded in my bike tomorrow to the dealership, they would go through the whole thing and it would get fresh fluids. I had a 5K service done a month ago
Yeah.
at the dealership.
Yeah.
I didn't have a 5K service done within the past 2 weeks at that dealership. If you had a 5K, if you had all your fluids flushed yesterday, but not at White Lightning, it's getting new fluids. It's just part of what they do on all Harley Davidson trade-ins. They go through all the inspections and get all fresh fluid, because then we as a dealership are starting at zero with a known quantity. Daniel said it best with that. So,
And that's the best way to do it, because that's what I've done with all motorcycles that I've acquired over the years.
Yeah.
Obviously, in this particular circumstance, I have you guys. I have you. I have Teresa. I have Ryan. I have people that I know that I trust to look at the motorcycle. The day I bought my BMW, I brought it home. I changed the oil. I changed the brake fluid. I changed, just not because I don't trust the dealership that I bought it from, but because now it is zeroed
because
out.
you don't trust it.
Well,
just play with it. Just messing with you.
Because you don't know.
Yeah,
you never know.
Yeah, you don't know.
Now I know it's zeroed out.
Yeah.
It's a known quantity. This is the mileage that
Yeah.
it had on it when
Well,
I changed everything.
It's like if you
Everything's
came
good.
into the dealership and bought a pre-owned bike off the sales floor,
Yeah.
and you went, well, what's done to this? We could go in the computer and print the ticket from where the service work was done and show you what service work was done.
But that doesn't mean
To the
everything was
motorcycle.
done at the dealership.
Well, no, with us.
Yeah.
I'm talking
well,
about
no.
if you're buying a pre-owned bike from us very specifically,
Yeah.
we can show you where, hey, when this trade-in came through and then came through its trade-in service, this is everything that was done, because it's on the ticket.
Oh, yeah.
So like oil is sold to the ticket, filters are sold to the ticket, gaskets are sold to the ticket. If it needed tires or a belt or all that stuff is noted. If it came in at 60,000 miles and it's never had the neck bearing adjustment done, there's a line item on that ticket where it shows that a neck bearing adjustment was done, those types of things. So we can go, hey, this is what we did to the bike.
Exactly.
So because that question happens. It happens all the time. Hey, what all was done to this? And we'll go ask. And now I'll say this, 99% of the times it's like, hey, we did a trade-in inspection and fluid service. So,
which 99% of the time, that's all a bike needs.
Yeah, because it's a rare
oil.
occasion that we get something that needs a lot more than that.
I mean, a lot more might be tires.
Yeah.
But they might be aged out or worn down.
The 3 other things that we see are neck bearing adjustment.
Fair.
Well, I'll say 4 because we'll say tires. So neck bearing adjustment, tires, brake fluid flush, and fork rebuild.
Which
makes
all
sense.
of those are pretty standard maintenance on a
I was
motorcycle.
about to say, all of those are maintenance stuff that needs to be handled on a motorcycle.
A lot of people just try to. The only one that most people try to avoid doing is fork seals, fork rebuilds.
Yeah,
because it does take special tools.
It does, but
it's not as easy in a garage by yourself to do a fork rebuild.
But for me, on a bike that's ridden, has had 50,000 miles put on it by me, and had a service done for that. It had a brake fluid flush, neck bearing adjustment, and a fork rebuild done because that's what should be done. Now, for any Harley rider, when you go into a dealership and you hear them talk about more than an oil change, that's the reference of what we call it, more than an oil change. That is what they're talking about. There's a lot of guys that go, I can do my 5K service or my 10K service because they're changing 3 whole service. There's more to it than a 3-hole service. I'm not preaching to you saying that you have to go to the dealership every single time, but if you can get a printout of what they do at each one of those services and then do those things, I highly suggest it because all the other things checked and inspected, belt deflection, just any of that stuff is a godsend.
And that goes back.
That's how you keep a bike with 100,000 miles on it.
Which goes back to why I'm giving you guys the bike, letting you guys go through it first. Hey, I don't know the history. You're going to go through it and you're going to look at that. Like, does the belt, is it even lined up?
Well, and
things can shift. Fluids is easy. Anybody can do fluids in their own garage.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that that's anything special. Brake fluid, you can do a 3-hole service. All of that is pretty easy for most people to do.
Yeah.
Neck bearings. I don't have the ability to do neck bearings in my garage. I mean, I do, but it wouldn't be easy. It would be a process.
Well, even just like if I say, hey, we're going to check the neck bearings. Okay. In your mind, what's the first thing we do?
Well, you're going to see if the handlebars go one way or the other. You're going to set them straight, let them fall one side or the other.
But how does that start? What's like the first thing you do to prep to do that?
That I don't know.
So you jack the bike up to get just the front wheel off the ground.
Sorry, in my head, I just already assumed that I've got the front tire off the ground already.
So you get it off the ground.
If I was doing it.
And then you do very specifically, this isn't unique to Harley Davidson, you do what they call a swing away test.
Yeah.
Now, I can't even tell you how to do a swing away test because I've never bothered to learn.
Well, you don't have
to.
Yeah, you don't need to.
So, but
marketing manager doesn't need to do maintenance stuff.
But that is a skill. Some techs over time, or some need to measure it. Some know. They just visually know, hey, this is.
We have talked about that before. Like people that know their craft and working on motorcycles, like they can
spot
my
stuff.
guy that used to fix my Kawasaki's.
Yeah,
he's like, number 4 cylinder. We need to change that valve spring.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Like what?
The sound was weird. What sound?
Well, and that,
but it's that type of knowledge.
Well, and that goes to play back into, Ryan's been on this podcast. We know Ryan. I mean, obviously I know Ryan, but Daniel knows Ryan. So he trusts Ryan. It's also a benefit that Ryan is a Dyna enthusiast,
It helps.
which means little things with Dynas Ryan knows about. Whereas you have some dealer or some techs at the dealership, it's not that they don't know all bikes, but maybe one of them is a bagger enthusiast. And it's like, hey, this specific gear range on the Street Glides, well, they're just do this. It's a cork. Don't worry about it, type deal. And that's with the Dyna enthusiast.
Correct. And as a point of reference, we're talking about 2016, so a 10-year-old motorcycle at this point.
Yeah.
That most dealerships don't touch things that are over 10, 15 years old.
Yeah.
True.
Harley does because
On a regular.
Yes.
I mean, that's the reason why Harley has the most registered motorcycles in the United States.
Because the dealership service actually services.
Well, and you
bikes.
can, it's like the guy that comes to the dealership that has the 79 lowrider that can walk in and go to the parts department and buy what he needs to.
Because I can tell you right now, like I could take the Valkyrie over to Honda and they'd be like, man, that's a really cool motorcycle.
That's about it. Yeah.
What do you want?
Yeah.
Like, that's cool. Are you just showing it to us?
Yeah.
Now, they have sold me parts before.
Yeah.
Because they were able to get them. Because it's still, believe it or not, some of the part numbers are still on Gold Wings today.
Yeah.
After my accident, when I had to rebuild parts of the bike, the parts were still available
Yeah.
through Honda.
That's good though.
But they weren't going to touch it.
Well, it's
No.
like the Yamaha. If you had a V-Star 650,
You'd
there's
still be on the way to where we are recording.
there's no guarantee that the dealers, because they no longer make the 650 anymore. So there's no guarantee that the dealers are going to have the parts for you.
Same with
True.
the 1100. They don't make the 11. They make a 950 and the 1300.
So, but Harley has focused a lot. That's the praise of Harley. Between the dealer network and then focusing on keeping bikes on the road, they've done a very good job. Daniel, even
I'm not going to argue. I'm not a Harley
if you're a
person.
motorcycle fan and you don't recognize the Harley, pays attention, one, to making sure there's a dealer network, and two, making sure that they can keep older bikes on the road. Then there's other conversations to have about unique glasses. Muffin works for an eye doctor.
I am not a Harley person.
Yeah.
But I completely agree with that. Like, this is a twin cam 103,
Yeah.
an older engine.
Yeah.
In the like 2016 was
In the
near
scheme of
end.
motorcycles.
2016 was near the end of the twin cam era because what was it? 17.
That
was
bike
the-
is very specifically the last one of its era. Because in
Yes.
2017 they made a lowrider, but they made the lowrider S all blacked
so they
out
changed it.
with the 110.
Was it a 110?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that bike is the last of its gen.
But at that point, I mean, we are still talking about a 10-year-old motorcycle.
Yeah.
Some of you listening, you were probably in diapers at that point. but
If we have listeners that are 11 years old, I would like to know.
I would
Yes.
love if we had listeners that were 11 years old.
That'd be great.
As long as they didn't cry to their mom every time we said something to me.
Well,
Yeah.
but I do appreciate the fact, and that's something that I've said to you, that this bike, a 10-year-old motorcycle, can still go to a dealership, not some shade tree mechanic, not some shop somewhere, a dealership, and get serviced. Because I can't do that with any of the, now the BMW I can, because that's a special circumstance.
Well, the thing is with most things, motorcycles, cars, all that other stuff, you're talking about 10 years old, you're talking about an older vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, my Street Glide's only a year newer than that Dyna. And no
true.
one ever looks at my bike and goes, man, that is a 9-year-old motorcycle. No, we meet people all day long that they're like, yeah, I got a 2010 Street Glide.
Yeah.
That is a 16-year-old motorcycle,
But,
and
I
it's
mean,
still like
even
new.
On that same point, we don't look at the KTM and be like, holy shit, that's 9 years old.
The thing's about to be double digits.
Oh.
I mean, the BMW's 15 years old. 16, sorry.
Oh, it's got its license.
Yeah, you can
Oh,
start
man.
driving. We don't need to talk about the KZs.
So,
I would love if we had a real Kawasaki dealer here in Chattanooga anymore.
yeah.
Take one of the KZs and they're like, hey, oil change.
Yeah, hey, can you help me with this?
Just like valve adjustment, carb service, like the normal like KZ things.
So
Yeah.
the last thing I want to touch on is something that we talked about when you're selling a motorcycle that you have to remember if you've done work to it, because it's one of the first things that's happening to the Dyna, and that's de-customizing it to user-specific stuff.
Yes.
So there are things that are going to change on it because it's not desired by you and Stephanie. And there's some things that aren't desired, like the seat. It's got a custom seat on it to match the bike. It's not the seat that Stephanie wants. Even if it was the seat that Stephanie wants, she might not want that style. But she very specifically also wants a different seat. So customizing it for her
Yes.
taste. So, I made this statement to someone at the shop the other day. We were talking about when a lot of these people build classic cars.
They do it for themselves.
Yeah, they do.
Well, I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about shops.
Oh.
One of the first things that those shops do when they acquire a vehicle is they, for the most part, fix it back to original running and driving condition before they start their custom work, because they want to make sure they're starting from zero.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Keyword of the day.
Start from zero.
Zero or hero.
Yep. And on that bombshell.
Hey everybody, this is Sean at White Lightning Harley Davidson. I want to thank you for listening to the Daily Biker Podcast. You can reach the podcast on Facebook or Instagram at The Daily Biker, or you can email the podcast at thedailybiker@gmail.com. Be sure to keep an eye on White Lightning Harley Davidson social media pages for the most up-to-date information on all our events and where you can find the boys.